Welcome to the Turkey Hunter Podcast, the original all-turkey, all-the-time podcast with your co-hosts Andy Galliano and Cameron Weddington.
In our weekly podcast, we're going to bring you some wild turkey calling tips like this.
From there, we're going to go into, she's aggravated, there's another hen that's challenged her, or she's challenging another hen. She's going to cut an excited yelp.
Advice from old pro turkey hunters like this.
The turkeys typically don't like, I think, more times than not, to travel in an easterly direction into the sun first thing in the morning, especially after he gets up. It's a blinding thing. It's just like you. It's hard for you to see into the sun.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have a choice, I'm going to try to make it so that I'm going to be on the west side in the morning, east side in the afternoon of a turkey.
Exciting live hunts like this.
Holy crap, that coming. Holy cow. Oh, God.
Then we're going to teach you how to cook your bird with advice such as this.
With some fresh rosemary and garlic, and then cool that off and spread that along the inside of that butterflied turkey breast that we've seasoned on both sides.
Wildlife management tips for your property, especially with turkeys like this.
If you look at the type of habitats that turkeys need for nesting and brooding, that tends to be habitat that can be managed more successfully with growing season fire than with dormant season fire.
And hopefully along the way, we'll get plenty of these.
Well, on November the 28th of 1953, I was attached. When I popped out of my mom and the baby doctor spanked me on the bottom, I went, oh! And I've been doing it ever since.
I like that.
Thank you for tuning in. And now, for this week's show. Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of the Turkey Hunter Podcast. You are listening to episode number 530, the 2026 Unicoi Custom Callmakers Recap Show. And I am your co-host and the guy who is sitting here with a pile of turkey calls and is fired up about getting into the woods with them this weekend.
Heck yeah, man. You'll have to send some audio clips my way once you get them recorded. I'm your co-host, and I'm the guy who got to kill a few mallards this morning.
Oh, ducks showed up, huh?
Yeah, we got a few. It's still nothing crazy, but it's just been an interesting year. I feel like I've duck hunted less than I probably have since high school. I've maybe gone 12 to 14 times, which is still good, but it's basically just been a deal of like, it's either pretty darn good and you know it's going to be good, or there's no point in going. And so today was good. We killed some mallards, had a great hunt, but then may not hunt again for a week or something. It's just kind of been that way.
Yeah.
Whereas, usually we can hunt almost every day and kill some ducks most every day and hunt very consistently. But this year's just not been the case. A big part of that's just it has not flooded since October. And so we probably have 80% of the spots we usually hunt are not flooded, which limits our opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, there's something about having a lot of water and being able to hunt waterfowl really helps. But it's still been a good year. I have no complaints. I mean, at least the times I go, it's good.
Yeah.
So
well, cool. Well,
got some duck meat in the fridge. Have some
there you
steaks.
go. There you go. That's what it's all about.
Man, yeah. Ever since we figured out how to cook these things, they're absolutely amazing. I don't know what we used to do, but they were terrible.
Yeah.
Unless you did my old grandpappy's old recipe where he would take cream cheese, jalapeno, and wrap it in bacon. Secret family recipe. I can't believe I put that on the air, but
Yeah.
that was the only way you could do it. But now we figured out how to cook these, and they're actually good without masking the entire flavor of the duck.
Yeah.
Which is the objective of a popper.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you make the poppers like that with duck, you can just open them up, take the duck meat out, eat
Tastes
the
the same.
pepper, the cheese, and the bacon.
Yeah, tastes just the same as with the duck without it. It's,
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing how that works.
No doubt, man.
But yeah.
Cool. That's good. So give me an update on the trapping too, because you and I've not talked in about 2 weeks.
Man, freaking
Still getting whipped.
I got a bobcat.
Okay.
Who comes right by my house up to the chicken coop. It's like, I guess he has a sport out of every night sneaking up on my 2 ducks that are still alive in the coop.
Mm-hmm.
And then realizing he still can't get them. And so he then leaves. But I put a trap over there, and it's been perfect weather, everything. Haven't seen him. I put a camera on it so I can kind of watch. Well, not last night, but the night before, I get a picture, and he is both paws just dead on the pan of my trap. And I'm like, and then he leaves. And I'm like, what? How did I not catch this thing? Ground was frozen.
Oh, no joke.
Yeah, I mean, he was like doing jumping jacks on top of the pan of the trap. And the ground's frozen solid because he didn't come to like 3 a.m. and it was 20 degrees. And so the ground was solid frozen. So the trap did not fire. So it's a huge bobcat. Me and him we're going at it. At some point, he's going down. I was just plotting when I was cleaning these. I brought 3 mallards home for myself. And when I was cleaning them, I was plotting. I think I'm going to add a wing over my trap as like a flagging.
Absolutely.
To entice him to hopefully come back, because I don't know if he'll come back or not. Now that I don't know what he did 4 nights ago. I think he dug my trap up, I guess, and rolled around on it because I had bobcat fur all over the thing. And I was like, "What the heck?" I texted our guest who we had last week, Bill Smith, and asked him what happened. He said he probably was rolling around on it. So after I reset it, he came back, and then that was when the ground's frozen. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I cannot win against this cat. Me and him I don't know. I think I shot at him with a rifle about a month. Anyway, I shot at a bobcat with a rifle, a big one. So I think it was him again. But me and him are going at it. So if I can catch him, I will report back. He's my number 1 target in life right now.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it'll happen soon. I hear the flagging with bobcats is really good because the old saying about curiosity. Yeah. So
that's what I think. I'm gonna add that, and hopefully he comes by tonight, because after tonight it's gonna be frozen ground every night essentially after this. So kind of got to get him tonight.
Yeah.
And if I don't get him tonight, I'm probably gonna go take the trap up because it'll be over at that point. But for a long time, because it's supposed to be very cold. So I'm gonna put in a big flag and try to catch his attention, get him one more go at it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be one happy dude when I put a hollow point 22 behind that joker's shoulder.
Yeah, that'll be a good day for sure.
Yes.
I am not much of a trapper other than trying to trap some nest predators once or twice a year. As far as trapping bobcats and coyotes, I don't have any experience doing it, but I will say I'm kind of like the guy that lives in the Caribbean that still gets and reads everything that he can read about snow skiing.
Yeah.
He's not going snow skiing. He's just absorbing all the information about snow skiing that he can do, because I'm still a member of the NTA.
Yeah.
And so I get their magazine, and I love to read their magazine.
Uh-huh.
It's got great articles in it. So, I pick up on a lot of tips on trapping animals that I probably will never get an opportunity to trap or even try to trap. And I'm talking like mink and stuff like that. So muskrats, that kind of stuff, I'm probably not going to make it a point to go do that, but I'll still read about it. So,
yeah.
But yeah, that people that I've talked to, things that I've read, they're like, bobcats are easier to catch than coyotes, just as a general rule.
That's what they say.
That's a general rule. That it doesn't apply to every single bobcat out there. So sounds like you found yourself a good foe.
Yeah, that's what they say for sure. And I think I'll get it. If the ground wasn't frozen, I'm telling you, I had him 2 nights ago. It was hook, line, and sinker in the nose, in the hole, both paws like down in the low spot in front of the hole where he should have been. He 100% stepped on the pan and would have smoked him.
Yeah.
He just got lucky on that round.
I know a lot of trappers used waxed dirt to keep the ground from the dirt inside of the trap from freezing, but there's some good things and bad things about it from what I read. So you do your own research on that.
Yeah, I wish I'd done that, but the ground doesn't freeze here all that often. Usually when I'm trapping, it hadn't been worth buying any of that for me yet, but I may have to.
Yeah.
But it is, and from what I've heard, the bobcat is a much more visual hunter, and so that that and the curiosity factor are why the flagging tends to work pretty well on a cat.
Yeah,
so we'll try it tonight. I'll report back next week, let you know. I mean, I think if he comes by within visual, if I have that wing up tonight, I think I'm gonna get him. But if he doesn't come by, then I probably won't get him.
You might have a point there. Might be hard to catch him if he doesn't show up.
But I did find like an absolute predator highway in the creek behind my house in the sand. It looks like they're running that thing like crazy. Coyotes, bobcats, possums, raccoons, tracks everywhere, using the dry creek bed as a road. So once we get past this freezing and thawing deal, I'm going to be putting some sets in there, and I feel very confident I'm going to have some success.
Yeah. Cool. Definitely keep us updated on that. That'd be
I will. I definitely will, and we'll do that. But how was Unicoi?
Unicoi was awesome.
We talked briefly last week, but this is the recap show, so you'll have to go more in depth with me.
Yeah, definitely will. So actually, I just realized that this is episode 531, not 530. So we're easing on up to 550 and beyond at this point, but I just wanted to throw that out there. But yeah, it was awesome. So I was telling a few people there, I'm like, I think I've been coming for 7 years, 8 years, something like that now. And I've never been to Unicoi when it didn't rain or snow.
Yeah. This
year was no exception. It came down.
Really?
It rained like crazy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but it didn't dampen spirits any. From what I understand, most of the call makers had a great show as far as sales and that kind of thing go. And I'm going to tell you personally, I had a great show. I was telling Anthony Ellis at the end of the show, as a lot of the call makers were breaking down, it was within 30 minutes of the end of the show, and the call makers are breaking their booths down. And I walked over to Anthony. I said, man, I just don't understand how I've been here for 2 days and I've not made it over here to talk to you.
Yeah.
Because it goes by so quickly, and there's so many people there that I want to talk to, and so many calls there that I want to run. And then there's seminars that I want to record. And, I want to talk to everyone there, whether they're a visitor to the show or they're a call maker or, an affiliated vendor like Brian with Moonshine Leatherworks or, somebody like that, some of the authors that are there. So I want to talk to everybody. You just can't do it in 2 days.
Yeah.
And
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a great time. I will say this year, it seems like there were more new call makers that had booths. When I say new, I mean new to the show.
Yeah.
So some rookie Unicoi call makers, I should probably phrase it that way.
Yeah.
So that was cool, meeting some new people.
Some new stuff.
Yeah. And then I will say this, Josh Painter knocked it out of the park with the seminars.
Really?
Yeah. They were all just outstanding, except the one that I gave. It just, it sucked, but it was a normal amount of suck, kind of like the suck you get from this show. So it was really, though, the seminars were outstanding. I've gotten most of those recorded, and we'll play those at some point between now and the next Unicoi show.
Excellent.
And I think Josh Painter also recorded, videoed most of those seminars as well. So it was overall, it was a 9.9 out of 10 kind of weekend for me.
Heck yeah. The
So just
gobbler had been sitting on top of your Airbnb goblin. That would have put it at 10.
You bet. You bet. And no rain. That would have done it. Those two things definitely would have done it.
That is crazy how consistent, like, the weather pattern of a massive front coming through on Unicoi dates. Like, that is a certainty on this earth.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's kind of amazing how that happens. Like,
and for years
and years and years.
Yeah. And I've noticed the same thing at my old hunting club, which was in South Alabama. When Alabama's deer season would end on January 31, which now it ends February the 10th. So going back a few years, when the season would end on 131, that week from 124 to 131, it'd be 70 degrees down there every day. And that's when the ruts run. The ruts were running pretty hard at that time down there. And it's like, man, I'm going to wear my Hawaiian shirt and some shorts and a flip-flop with a straw hat to the stand and take my doe pee and deer grunt. It was crazy, but it was that way for years. It just was rare that it ever got cold that week. So yeah, seems like there are just times, certain weeks, certain times of the year where you get these weather patterns consistently over a period of years.
Yeah.
So, and that's it with Unicoi. There's going to be a front coming through in the southeast the weekend of Unicoi, without a doubt.
Yeah, I may get on one of these, these like new betting apps, like Kalshi or whatever, where you can you can bet on the weather and everything.
Uh-huh.
Let's just put it all on rain for the dates of Unicoi next year.
Yes.
I mean, precipitation chance 100%, or I don't know how you bet on the rain, but I know you can bet on weather. So North Georgia, rain, Unicoi dates. That's my bet I'm taking for the next year.
I think that's a great strategy just to make some extra money so you could spend it buying calls at Unicoi next year.
There you go. There you go. So, I like it. Well, walk me through what you did, who you talked to, whatever you want to highlight. Obviously, you were the attendee, so I'm going to be the listener of this show. And, I don't know if you have any audio for us you're planning to plug in or
I do.
what, but walk me through it.
All right, cool. So we got there early afternoon on Thursday, and I made a fatal mistake. I opened my work computer. So I did not
What happened Friday?
Yeah, so we're skipping right ahead to Friday. I did not make the show Thursday afternoon. So Friday, I get there, and the rain's supposed to start around 10 a.m., 11 a.m., something like that. Show starts at 9. So everyone rolling in there on Friday had an opportunity to get in there if they arrived early, stay dry, and do what they needed to do. So that was nice. I think that helped. Friday seemed like it was a good day. Call makers I talked to on Friday were like, they either sold a lot of calls on Thursday afternoon or they sold none. It seemed like there was not, I didn't talk to anyone that said, I had a decent day Thursday afternoon. It was like an all or none thing. But then Friday, the crowd rolled in there and it was box calls cranking, pot pegs cranking, tube calls cranking, crow calls. It was very lively. It was awesome.
I wonder if your Thursday guys that showed up were like already knew what they were coming after.
I think that's generally the case.
Yeah, like they came knowing who and what they needed.
Yes.
And so they just went and got their targeted.
They go in and out. And I think on Friday, Friday morning early, you get some of that same thing.
And then you get people who show up who are actually perusing with no agenda.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice. That makes sense.
You get guys like Ralph Permar who bring a very limited number of calls. Well, if you're not one of the first people at his booth, you're not getting one.
Yeah.
You got to wait till next year or hope that his waiting list catches on fire accidentally and he builds a new one and you're number one on the list.
Huh.
But there are quite a few call makers like that. They just don't bring a lot of calls. And so people are on a mission. they're not hunting, they're going to kill, and they're going to kill that need to get a Ralph Permar call or Lamar Williams or somebody like that. They're just on a mission. So you get a lot of that again early on Friday. You get that Thursday afternoon, and then as that initial crowd thins out a little bit on Friday, then to me, that's the part of the show I really love, where I can get in, talk to the call makers, run calls, step outside, play calls, and just catch up with some old friends. And that's when the fun really begins. So
Yeah.
one of the guys I caught up with on Friday is our old buddy, Roger Parks.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. And so I go to Roger's booth, and he's got a new spin-off on his gobbler slate.
He's always tweaking his gobbler slate.
Always tweaking it. And so he played the gobbler side of that slate, and I thought, man, that sounds really good. Then he just rips out it's the dual-sided call, and he flips it over and starts cranking out some yelps on the hen side of that call. And I said, pulled my wallet out, and I said, okay, I got to have one. So I think it's like I go to talk to Roger, and Roger looks at me and says, I got him.
Yeah.
So and he's done some things with his strikers this year. So he's got a striker with a wooden shaft and a solid carbon tip.
Huh.
And that striker on this hen call is just outstanding. Wow. So I'm just probably going to play some purrs and clucks on it, but I've got some audio of running this call in the woods. And with all of these calls that I bought, I've got audio of me running them in the woods with the recorder away from me, so that you can get the true sound of what these calls sound like, instead of just calling here in a room with a microphone and headset on my ears and the sound bouncing off the walls and that kind of thing. So anyway, this call it's got a plastic pot. So you're talking about a true weatherproof call, and it's got just a nasality to it. It sounds just like old nasally hen.
Nice.
And this thing is really good. But we'll stop here and play the audio for me running this call in the woods, so you guys can get a better sound of it. But it's outstanding. So, and I'll play both the gobbler side and the hen side of the call, and that way you can get a really good feel of it. But let's do that, and we'll see you guys in just a couple of minutes. Man, that thing's
Yeah.
it's just solid. I mean, that's a good call. And
Probably didn't hurt the sale either. That I know you sent me some audio from a turkey you killed very end of season, not last year, but the year before, using his gobbler slate. I believe it was the slate.
yes,
And
Yeah.
I mean, when you hit it on that audio, that turkey fired right back, and then the gunshot was not long after.
yeah, I hate to even say it on the podcast because it's a great little secret. You know, you go and you hunt public ground and you don't really want to be running around there with a gobble tube or a gobble box, but you can make some calls with this gobbler slate, some clucks and some yelps, and it a lot of times can make a difference. I mean, you can use it as a locator call or you can use it as a finishing call because it was a treat for me. And I actually used that call in 2 different states back to back. I left one state where I used the call to kill, and I went to another state and used it and called in these 2 birds that were just hung up and not coming. And I called them in and I played this call and they came on with it. So that gobbler slate is, I guess I should say at this point, it's a not so secret weapon anymore, but
it definitely works. And for
it's
those
magic.
the few people like myself who enjoy a fall gobbler hunt, unbelievable. Did he have any of his box calls?
He did. Yeah.
Oh man,
And
those big long boxes.
Yep, he's been working on those too, and you were a topic on many people's minds. A lot of people were like, "Hey, where's Cameron going to make it this year?"
Yeah.
Start laughing after they'd ask a question.
Yeah.
But Roger, he said Cameron sent me another picture this year from a fall hunt.
Oh yeah,
and I said, "Yeah, he loves that box call of yours." And so he said, "Yeah, he sent me a picture with it." And I said, "Well, that's because the thing works."
yeah. I believe I sent him a video of a gobbler flopping at 7 steps.
Nice.
And that was the back gobbler. That was the back one. So
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other one was standing on your boot.
Yeah. I was hoping you said he didn't have I was hoping he kind of would discontinue those. I wouldn't mind having one of the only ones available, but that thing is, the slate's really good too, but for whatever reason, me and that box have been a good match.
Yeah. I mean, I wish he'd just quit making the slate and the box.
I know.
So you know what? It's been a good run. Nobody needs these anymore. It's for the health of the turkey population.
Yep. That's why I have 2 of his slates and 1 of his boxes. If he ever does stop, I'll at least get 3 more hunts out of him.
Before you donate them to the trunk of a tree
where the kill happens. Yeah. They're good for 3 more kills and then they're gone forever.
Yeah. No doubt. So Friday, while I was running around the show, going here, going there, recording seminars, everything else, our buddy Darrell Dawkins flagged me and he said, "Hey, come see me." So I made it over there to him, and he's got this Vixen call that he's come out with, and I got to run that thing and got to bring one home with me. So very excited about that. But it's really a purr pot, but you can get some incredible yelps out of this thing. So I've got one of these, and again, purrs on it are easy on these recordings. I'm going to do the same thing and just kind of step out, or I've got the recording from the woods and I'll play that. But this thing, I'm going to shut up here and what I like about this call the most is, with the purr pots, typically you just run those flat on your palm or in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not creating any additional sound chamber. In fact, you're trying to muffle the sound of that pot. But with this call, what you can do is you can just kind of drop down your index finger when you're running it. So I'm about to drop my index finger here.
I can barely hear it.
Can you? Okay, let's try it again. This is the call flat in the hand.
I barely can hear it.
All right, maybe I'm just cranking on it too softly here. You drop your index finger on this call and you go from this to get a little more volume out of it, obviously a different tone altogether. And then with the yelp on this thing,
Yeah, it sounds pretty good.
still very nasally,
Yeah.
and not a whole lot of rasp, but not every gobbler out there likes rasp.
Yeah.
And so to me, this is an awesome call. I love this thing, and it's not ugly to look at either. So it's a beautiful call. Let's run the audio of this one in the woods. I think you guys can appreciate it a lot more when you hear the audio from the woods running. So we'll see you guys in just a minute. That one, I think, is going to be covered with feathers by the end of season.
Yeah, I like that. And I will say Darren was probably one of my favorite interviews we did in 2025.
Man, I got to tell you, and so I'm at the show. Mark Prudhomme, I'm talking to somebody. Mark Prudhomme comes up behind me right before his seminar starts, and he said, that show y'all did with Darrell Dawkins is one of the best shows I've ever heard.
It was very good. Yeah.
So you're talking about a guy that's an absolute turkey killer, an incredible turkey caller,
Yeah.
and coming up and saying, hey, that was an awesome show. That tells me
it was a good show.
I would say we did a great show, but really it's Darren that
100%. Yeah.
Brought it. So that's episode 518.
Yeah.
Hunting pressure turkeys with Darrell Dawkins. And I tell you what, between talking about Roger Parks' gobbler slate and giving episode 518 that episode number to everybody to go back and listen to, I think we're making a mistake. I don't think there's going to be any wild turkeys left.
Yeah, that's all we got for this week. We're gonna go ahead and shut it off. Apparently, we're just a little loose-lipped for the week. We need to calm down here.
Yeah. So, speaking of that, I need to calm down because I'm starting to get jacked up. Man, this show just does it for me. So, of course, I do have an addiction or a couple of addictions, and these turkey calls are one of them. So, it's just always fun. This is a fun episode for me every year too. So anyway, after picking up Darrell Dawkins' call, picking up Roger Parks' call, I am there at I think I just finished up, or Mark Prudham had just finished his seminar, and Carrie Terrell did a seminar with Mark. It was outstanding, and we'll have that for you guys at some point in the near future. But after that, Josh Painter came up to me and he said, "Hey, I want to interview you with someone who said that he's here at this show because of you." And I said, "Okay, cool." So I step outside of the room, and Josh is like, "Come on, let's do this interview now." So I go over there, and he reintroduces me to Luke Ditto. Well, Luke was at the show, I think last year was his first year. Maybe it was 2 years ago. But I'd met Luke a couple of times, and so it was good to see Luke. So I'm talking to Luke, and Josh is like, "Well, I just want you guys to talk about Luke finding this show because of you and how that's affected him." And I'm like, "Okay." So we sit down, start chatting, and about halfway through the video, Josh says, "Well, Andy, this is something you don't know, but Luke has gotten into making turkey calls because he has been coming to this show, and it got him very interested in making calls."
Wow.
So in a indirect way, you're responsible for getting Luke into making calls. And I thought,
that is cool.
Wow, that's just crazy. I never thought about that, that number one, that it would ever happen. I'm just simply promoting a show that I love for a bunch of guys that are just incredible people, incredible turkey hunters, and incredible craftsmen. And in my mind, that's all I'm doing. And you're doing this as well because you're on the show, even though you haven't been to Unicoi. But to hear that, I thought, man, I never even thought about that, and the effect that coming to that show might have on people. And so it was a very cool interview that we did. And I appreciate Josh Painter lining that up. And I appreciate Luke taking time to do that interview with me. And after we walked away, Luke came up to me and he said, "Hey," he said, I didn't really think about the fact that I gotten into making turkey calls now because of you." And I said, "Well, I didn't even know you were making, so it's a surprise to me. And, I'm glad." Well, he had a call around his neck that he had made, and I was looking at it, I'm like, man, this is tremendous.
Wow.
It's a beautiful call. And so he said, "Yeah, one of the hidden benefits of this show is being able to come in here, talk to these call makers that have been making calls for years, picking their brains, letting them play some of your calls and say, oh, you need to make this change or you need to make that change." And, now the guys that have, a lot of the experienced call makers are not going to give you the dimensions, every single dimension, and let you just come in and duplicate their calls. There's a couple of reasons for that. One is very obvious. They are selling calls. There are a handful of secrets that will be taken to some of these call makers' graves that they're just not going to share. But the vast majority of them know that if they don't share, there's a huge learning curve in making turkey calls. And they don't want this craft to die with them. And so they're willing to share information and they're willing to help you. And if they play your calls and they know of a way you could improve your calls, they're going to offer that. That's just the quality of the character of these call makers. And so he's gotten some help from Ralph Permar, some advice, some suggestions, that kind of thing. Luke has, and he's made this trumpet call, or these trumpet calls is what he's making. And so anyway, he says, since you have been responsible for me getting into this, I'd like for you to have this call. And he hands me a trumpet call, and it's beautiful. It's really good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I said, man, I can't tell you, that means so much to me that you would do that for me. And so he said, now I want you to know it's not the quality of call you're going to get in the room upstairs. And I'm like, let me decide that. Because when you look at it, you can't tell that one of the guys in that room up there did not make this call. You can't convince me that somebody who's been making calls now for about a year and a half or 2 years made this call. Because I can tell you, if I tried to do this, it would be firewood. You'd be like, yeah, this thing's good for kindling. That's all it's good for. But I'm going to run this. Trumpets sound terrible inside, and they sound terrible over a microphone when the microphone's right up against your head. So I'm just going to run this call from the woods and let you guys hear it. And I'm telling you, I'm blown away by how good this thing sounds. So
let's hear it. I'm excited.
Yeah, let's run this thing and be back in just a minute. I'm just thoroughly impressed.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So
what a cool story. That is neat.
It is. And, again, it's something I never thought about, and nothing like that was ever my intentions with highlighting the Unicoi show or promoting the Unicoi show. I just, again, it's something I love. And so I know it's something everyone listening to this podcast will love. And so I have no issue in promoting that. But that was cool. So thank you to Luke Ditto for giving me that call. And all I can tell you is I'm not sure where the room for improvement is with this call. So keep doing what you're doing and just keep practicing, because I have no doubt in my mind I can kill a turkey with that call.
Heck yeah. Be pretty cool if you did. Full circle.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's the plan.
Yeah, that is definitely the plan.
That's the plan. Every call I pick up and bring home with me, it's like, I'm going to kill a turkey with that call.
Better yet, you should just call me one up.
You know what? We'll make that happen. I'm not against that.
That's way better, in my opinion. I like that.
I'm not against that at all. So that was pretty much some great seminars on Friday and some great conversations and catching up with old friends on Friday. That was awesome. Saturday, I gave my seminar, and before I went to go do my seminar, I stepped over to Larry Stevens' booth, and Larry makes some incredibly beautiful and great sounding long boxes and box calls. And so here's a call that he started making. It's a one-sided call. And because of Unicoi, I've gotten really interested in these one-sided calls. You are limited as to what you can do with them. But to me, they have a Yelp on them that's not like any other box. It's not like a two-sided box call, in my opinion.
So it's a one-sided box.
Yes.
Neat.
What,
okay.
Did I just say one-sided call?
Yeah, and I was
Okay.
curious.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I mean, I played a few slates that only had one side, but
Yeah. No, one-sided box is what
I
this
got
is.
you. That makes sense. Yeah, I've seen those. They can be beautiful.
Thank you for pointing that out to me. I talking and sitting here looking at the call and was not even thinking about what I was saying. But yes,
or one-sided diaphragm call.
Yeah. And so he's got, I don't know, 5 or 6 of these laid out on his table, and I'm looking at them, and they are works of art. So just imagine a two-sided box call where most of your one-sided calls, the side number 2 is a raised side, raised lip, so that you can't play past that point. Well, what he's done is he has fastened a separate piece of wood to the side of the call, and that's your stop for the one side.
Yeah.
I should say for playing the other side. And so he's got wooden pegs where he's attached this separate piece of wood to the box, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful call. It's it's something that's unique. And I've told you guys 100 times, that's what I really love in a call, is something unique and different. And so I picked up and played a few of these calls. And I'm going to tell you that I'll do this when I go to someone's booth. And I highly recommend, I don't care if you've been turkey hunting for 50, 60 years and running turkey calls for 50 or 60 years. I don't care if you make turkey calls and know how to run a box, or know how to run a pot and peg, know how to run a trumpet. These guys that make these calls make them to run them a certain way. That doesn't mean you have to, but there's something to running a call the way that they make it, build that call to be played. So I asked Larry, I'm like, look, run this call for me and show me how to run it. It's a one-sided box. Seriously. Who can't pick up a box call after you've been taught by somebody for 5 minutes and run it?
Yeah.
That's one of the great things about boxes, is they're so easy to learn and they're highly effective. So I get this one-sided box. I asked Larry to show me, how are you running this thing? So he shows me. And what I noticed about this box is that the rail that you are the side of the box that you're going to run the top or the paddle across, that you're going to play it on the very end of the box closest to you. That's the way the lid's canted. It's got a really heavy slope. If you compare this to other box calls, it's got a heavy slope on that lid to where you're running the front end of that box. And so what that means to me is I don't have to make these huge movements on the lid. Not that that's a big deal, because I don't care. I can make a long, smooth movement of the lid, or I can make a short, smooth movement across or with the lid across the side of the box. It doesn't matter. But the sound coming out of this call is it's incredible. Again, same deal with a box call and a microphone. I'll play this thing on a microphone and blow you guys out of your vehicle, or blow your earbuds out of your ears. So I don't want to do a disservice to the call, and I want to run this thing from the woods. So let's play this thing, and I will see you guys here in another minute or so.
Awesome.
I'm telling you, I think this one's going to be covered in feathers by the end of season 2. This thing.
Your main problem's going to be choosing which one to pull out first.
It is. It is all the time. And, people ask me, well, why do you continue to buy calls? I'm like, well, I typically don't buy a call just to put it on a shelf.
Yeah.
So and most of these guys that make calls don't want you to buy their call and stick it on a shelf.
No doubt.
They want you to take it to the woods and kill a turkey with it. So
it's funny. Nobody ever asks me that.
Ask you what?
Why I'm buying more calls. I guess they just know that it's because I lost the last one.
Yeah, it could be. That definitely could be. But and I say this, I'll rotate calls in and out of my vest multiple times during the season because of obvious reasons. Number one, what one turkey likes today, that same turkey may not like tomorrow.
Fact.
Or I should say, and what a turkey likes today, the next turkey down that logging road that you're walking may not like that call, and he might like the next one that's in your vest.
Mm-hmm.
Or he might like the one that's sitting in your call tote that you have that's in your truck.
Yep.
If you don't take it tomorrow, you may never know that turkey liked that call. So that's, for me, that's part of the fun is taking all of these calls out into the woods and carrying them. And, I mentioned that's one of the reasons why I mentioned this a few episodes ago. It's one of the reasons why I still carry a vest, because I've got these calls and I want to run them.
Mm-hmm.
And, to me, it's fun running these different calls in the woods and hearing turkeys respond or not respond and trying to figure out what it is a turkey wants. So anyway, I'll have fun running all of them. I'll promise you that. But this is a beautiful box. Thing sounds incredible. Takes very, very little effort to play at all. And it's, I think if anyone wanted a one-side box call, this would be a great one to get. So that, as far as calls are concerned, I feel like I did pretty well staying on budget this year.
Nice.
I didn't go crazy. And one other thing I did get that I almost forgot to mention. Of course, we mentioned this with Josh when we did the preview show. The Unicoi show's it is primarily about turkey calls and turkey call makers, but that's not all that's there.
Yeah.
And so I'm reaching in the bag here. Our buddy Brent Rogers was there with his new book.
Nice.
And I think you may have a copy of his new book already, don't you?
I
Since you ordered the limited edition?
Yeah, I pre-ordered a limited edition. I have not gotten it yet. I think he was waiting. I think the initial sale of any book was going to be at Unicoi, which I think is cool. And I will get mine in the mail.
Well, you're going to love it. So I saw the limited edition books. They are a work of art. And I saw the calls that they're giving with the limited edition books. And anyone who ordered those, and if I'm not mistaken, they are sold out.
Wow.
But anyone that ordered those, you're going to be pleased.
Heck yeah. I'm excited to get mine.
Yeah. So I bought one of his books, and we were chit-chatting. And you guys, if you've listened to the show for any length of time, you know that Brent's been on the show 3 times maybe over the years.
Sounds about right. Yeah. 2-3 times.
And so I'm talking to Brent, and Brent's like, when we wrote this book, we wrote it with you in mind, Andy. Like, come again? He says, yeah, we wrote it with you in mind. Flip through this book. I'm flipping through the book, and I'm like, there's a lot of really cool pictures in here. And he said, yeah. He said, we wrote it with you in mind. We put all those pictures in there so you don't have to read because we know you struggle with that. I started laughing. I'm like, yeah, I do struggle with that.
Thanks, Brent.
I love a picture book. This is great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to really digging into this book. It's a very, very well put together book. It's got a beautiful cover on it. And the thing for me is it's not a book I'm going to put in my truck and haul around to the deer stand with me to read while I'm sitting in a tree stand bored out of my mind for 3 or 4 hours. So it will be after deer season before I dig into this one, but I'm looking forward to it. It is, I mean, looks like a wonderful history book and the fun kind of history. So
Heck yeah.
Going to be cool digging into this one, and I know you're going to be stoked when you get yours.
Yeah, I'm excited to get it.
Yeah. So thank you to Brent, Danny Ellis, Chris McDonald, and Rick Powell for your efforts on this book. And again, I'm ready to jump into it and go. So you guys can pick one of these books up. I didn't get Brent's information to give to you guys about how to get one of these books, but I will.
He's on Facebook. He's very active on Facebook. So Brent Rogers on Facebook, and I bet he'll hook you up.
Yeah, I was going to say I will post it in the show notes.
Perfect.
And in fact, the contact information for all these call makers that I've kind of featured in the show today, I'll put their contact information in the show notes as well. And I'll say this, it's not too early to plan to get here for next year. I think I mentioned it last week. They've already announced the dates for next year's show.
Yep.
It's going to be January 7, 8, and 9. And book you a room, get there, because it's an experience and you will not be disappointed if you go.
Heck yeah.
So you just won't get to see Cameron, but good Lord willing, I'll be there next year.
Yeah, you never know. One year I may sneak in. Nobody will know who I am, but I'll just sneak around.
Yep. So anyway, just great time as always. And thanks to Russell Beard, Mark Sharp, Josh Painter for everything that you guys do to make this show happen every year. This thing doesn't just come together on its own. There's a lot of planning that goes into this.
More than you can ever imagine, usually. That kind of stuff.
Absolutely. So, and I'm just glad that they do it, and it's something else. So
awesome.
Anyway,
man, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, good deal. I'm glad you had a good time. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the audio clips and everything you posted, and we'll have some seminars for them, I assume, at some point.
Yes, we will. We definitely will.
Rock with those.
I will say we did a countdown last week. Didn't do one this week, but we're right around 63 days before Alabama's turkey season starts.
Yeah,
it is coming in a hurry. And so you guys are not practicing your turkey calling. If you haven't been at the gym yet, it's not too late to do all those things. So get out and start prepping for turkey season, because you're going to wake up one morning and
it's going to be here.
It's going to be here.
Turkeys will be gobbling.
Yes. Yep. So
very cool. Well, you want to wrap us up?
Yeah, man. Let's do it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. We know that you have choices. We appreciate you spending your time with us. We hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for tuning in. You were just listening to the Turkey Hunter podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please go on over to iTunes and leave a 5-star review. And make sure to head over to www.iamturkeyhunting.com to subscribe for free turkey hunting tips, tactics, strategies, and product reviews to help you have a more successful turkey season. And stay tuned for upcoming episodes on hunting afternoon birds, how to film your hunt, and the breeding cycle of hens, as well as some guest interviews. Thanks again for listening. We know your time is valuable, and we appreciate you sharing some of it with us. See you next week. The Turkey Hunter podcast diaphragm call, Batwing.